Hey, coin folk, we're back. Box of quarters. Looking for all kinds of good stuff. I don't know what we might find. You never know. Airs, varieties, W's, some nice older stuff. Silver, of course. Always a plus. Hopefully at least circulated. Or, I guess it wouldn't be the worst if we got a box of something new, but I prefer circulated. And we definitely have circulated. So that is a positive. And I guess we'll jump in and we'll see what we can find. And I'll bring you back in as soon as I possibly can. All right, folks, let's get it. Well, very first roll, and I got a Kanaka Ole under the scope here. Hoping to find either the nice Clash or even better yet, one of Dirty Water's new double dies that he got attributed. Preferably the DDR is my favorite, but none of the above. Instead, we just got some big old honking die chips. And I don't know why this is such a popular spot for him in the K and the A here. I'm assuming it just has something to do with the design of the coin that are breaking down there first. It's pretty common, but the one in the K is pretty giant. So I just figured I'd bring you in real quick, and we're going to jump back in and see what else we can find. So back in here on roll 3, and we got a San Antonio Missions under the scope here with just a small little die chip right here in the top of the bell tower. I've definitely seen them bigger than this. Don't know that I've seen them smaller than this, but it's at least a little bit of something to talk about. So I thought I'd bring you in, show that, and we're going to jump back in. So we're working through roll 7 here. We got a Maria Tall Chief under the scope. Got a little bit of the die tips and the hair up here, which is fairly common. But also has on the obverse here, I don't see any listings, but a minor double die, like rate on Washington's hair, very similar to the one Dirty Water found and got attributed on the Edith Kanaka Ole, just kind of rate in this area here. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, I don't see any listings for it quite yet, but I'm sure it will be listed at some point. So nothing crazy, but still fine. So we will jump back in and see what else we can find. All right, folks. So we're on roll 8 here, and I got this 2004 Florida State Quarter under the scope. And I can't for the life of me figure out what this is. It doesn't really show up just sitting flat all that well like that, but I'm going to move it around here in the light, and you'll see underneath the wing of the shuttle there, the left wing of the shuttle, it almost looks like a Clash, but it doesn't really line up with anything that it would be clashing with. I don't know. It's super strange. It's real faint. I don't know. It's odd. That's all I can tell you. But if you think you have an idea what it might be, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to hold on to it for now and try to figure it out later. Because I've sit here and looked at this thing trying to figure out if it's some kind of Clash for a couple minutes here. And it's just not making sense to me. But anyways, if you got ideas, throw them out there. Let me know. And otherwise, I'm just going to jump back in the hunt here and see what else can confuse me for the moment. All right, folks. I'll be back. So working on roll 9 here, we got a San Antonio Missions under a scope. Not a die chip there or over here, but I actually found one down here on the waves here. I don't think I've ever seen this one before. It's not real giant, but right in this area. I almost skipped over it, and I'm glad I didn't because I started looking at the coin a little bit closer. And I don't see any listings anywhere, But this looks to me like some minor doubling inside the archways. I'm not for sure, but that's what it looks like to me. It kind of stays present as you turn it in the light. But I looked on Varieties and DoubleDie.com. I don't see any listing. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not. But it sure looks like it to me. So let me know what you think. And we're going to jump back in. All right, folks.
This little guy out here just chowing, eating some breakfast, maybe lunch, I don't know. I just woke up, so it's breakfast. I don't know what the heck he's eating out there. It's not a nothing tree that he's under. He's found something he likes. I don't know. I guess we'll let him be. I'm gonna get back to hunting some coins. Alright, folks. Bye.
Hey, folks. We're done watching the squirrel. We're back watching some coins. Believe we got our first foreign of the bunch here. And what do we got? We got something I ain't never gonna be able to read. United Arab Emirates. That's interesting. Never found one of those before. Don't know the denomination exactly, but it's quarter in size, so we'll call it a quarter. I don't know if I figure something out about it. Maybe I'll try a little Google image search, and I'll let you know next time we're in here. All right, folks. So working through roll 14 here. Got a Washington crossing the Delaware under the scope. Just a tiny little bit of a clash right there under his nose, kind of looped back down into his chin. I found bigger ones before, and like that are a little farther out in front of his face, so it shows up a little bit better. But it's a little bit of something, anyways. Speaking of Washington crossing the Delaware in a little bit, we got just a couple with little tiny dye chips in top of his hat. This one is super tiny. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's just the tiniest little chip right there in the corner of his hat. It doesn't even show up very well, but found a ton of those. I don't really hang on to those. And also, speaking of tiny, that San Antonio missions, maybe I've just never looked for before. I found two more already with that little dye chip on the end of the wave there. So, and I think one of them, that one almost looks a little bit like the doubling. And this one has that same, what I think is doubling on it. In all three archways on the left hand side. So, once again, if you have an opinion on this, let me know, because I don't really know for sure what I'm looking at, but it looks like doubling to me. But anyways, we're going to jump back in and hopefully find something different to look at and not more of the same. But Figured I'd take a break, bring you in, and I'm gonna jump back in. All right, folks. So back on the very next roll, and I said we are gonna be looking for something different, and technically this is different because it's much dirtier, but it has that same die chip. Apparently these are very common, but this one also has. I wish it wasn't so beat up because it also has a fairly large die chip up on the top of the bell tower here. I think that's probably the largest die chip that I've ever found on the bell tower. I found a little bit smaller ones, but I don't know. Might give it a little acetone bath and see if we can clean it up a little bit. But we need some cool die chips over here. I always like this part of the coin. I don't know why. It's just cool looking. But anyways, let's jump back in and hopefully find something different. Well, technically this is different. I don't know what the heck's going on with this Hypno Toad quarter over here, but somebody went to town on it. It is all like sanded down, it looks like, but it's got some crazy looking colors on it. I don't know, just thought it was kind of cool looking, but definitely not a keeper. Maybe if I had an ugly quarter book or an ugly slash kind of cool looking quarter book. But anyways, we're gonna jump back in, see what we find. So we're working our way through roll 19. Got a couple here to take a look at. Got a 1988 Philly under the scope. Got a pretty decent sized die crack from the rim all the way down into the outside part of the Eagles' right wing. It also has a very minor clash. It really only shows up great in one spot. You could kind of see it a little bit, like the spitting eagle. There, it shows up really light. I don't even know if I could be able to get it to show up. Just a touch. Kind of rate. Let me get my pointer here. If you know where you're looking, they can definitely show up much better, but kind of rate in this area here between the olive branch leaf there and the eagle's wing, and then it shows up pretty decent on the other side. It's a real faint line, but kind of the same rate in between the where the feathers and the olive leaves there meet up towards the wing, but it's really light. Sometimes you can find it even like the top part of his head will be down here in the bottom, but I'm not really seeing anything down there. Well, besides a lot of strike doubling, but. And then we also have an Arizona that's just got just a small little extra cactus leaf, not quite completely covering up the designer's initials, but fairly close. Right down here at the, if you don't, not sure where you're looking, down here at the bottom of the cactus, I think it's JFM, I think, is the designer initials that are usually down there. You can just barely see a little part of the initials still, but anyways, we're going to do, I think, one more roll, and then I'm going to pause on it and jump into my box of halves for the week, and then we'll come back to quarters and finish up the box. But I just figured I'd bring you in and show you those and jump back in. So we just finished up roll 20, watching the normal Saturday night over at Hunting Southwest Ohio. But we got just a couple to talk about here before we switch over to halves, before I come back to the quarters. It's a little rough looking, but got a Harper's Ferry under the scope. We've got a little bit of doubling here in this window and this window here, and I think that's a tiny little bit right here. But I believe it's WDDO number 23, but probably won't hang on to that one. It's pretty beat up, but something to look at least. We did have another DDO on this one. I've been looking for this one for a while. It's a pretty good one. It's San Antonio Missions, WDDO number 1. You can see doubling all throughout the motto, a little notching down the T and R here, extra thickness. And the G-O-D is real apparent. You could even see it on the other side in Liberty some. Some notching down the easiest to see in the T and the Y, but some extra thickness on the right side of the Y there. pretty awesome find here, and it's actually in pretty decent shape. So I'm definitely gonna be hanging on to this one. But what was? Oh, there was one other thing here. Hold on, let me see. I don't forget what it was. I set it aside to look at. Oh, just had some feeder finger scrapes here beside the scale. I've been waiting for like some massive die chip or a strike through to show up, kind of sitting on top of the scales. Would look pretty cool. So got some feeder finger lines there. So I don't know. There might be some potential out there. But anyways, I'm gonna jump back into watching hunting Southwest Ohio and start hunting some halves myself, and then we'll be back and we'll finish this quarter video up and we'll see what happens. All right, folks. So we're back after an uneventful $50 hunt and back finishing this box of quarters and watching little dirty water over here who told me I'm not allowed to stop coin roll hunting yet. So I guess I'm gonna keep going. But I got one under the scope here that I want to get some opinions on. Maybe it's just my mind's eye wanting to see stuff because I don't see any listing on Variety Vista or DoubleDie.com. But to me, it looks like the G and the O and the D here are like a little kind of thick and squished out. And then it seems like there's a little bit of notching on the W, kind of the top left serif of the W and in the E, right there and up here. I don't know. I don't trust myself enough yet though to identify stuff that I can't find a photo and compare to. Maybe even in the Y there. Same top left. Nah, it might just be kind of smashed. I don't know. But let me know what you think. I'm gonna set it aside, and I'm gonna wait and try to. I'm sure I'll come across another, and it's Philly too. I'm gonna wait and try to come across another in the hunt here, and maybe get some pictures of both, so we can kind of compare and see what we're looking at. I tried pulling up video or not video, but pictures just on like on PCGS Coin Facts to kind of compare it to, and I couldn't really. They weren't what I needed. I need nothing. Even zooming in on it, it just wasn't the detail you need to kind of compare the two. So I don't know. I'm gonna set it aside for now, and maybe we'll revisit later, or maybe you'll tell me what you think. All right, folks, jump back in. So working on roll 22 here, and got an Eleanor Roosevelt under the scope. God, they did not do her any favors with this coin design. this is rough. But anyways, got a little tiny dot chip up here under the hat, or under the on top of the hat brim, and then also it looks like the same spot in the hairline there. Looks like we got some doubling. I haven't looked it up yet to see if there's any listing on it. If you're looking just kind of right in here, same spot where Dirty Water found that DDO on Maya Angelou. But I'll look it up and see what we can find, and I'll let you know if I do find something. I probably should have looked it up before I brought you in, but I didn't think about it. But anyways, we're gonna jump back in. Alright, so we're back here. I finally found another oh well, crap, what was it? River No Return. The one that I was looking at that I thought was maybe double, just the tiniest little bit. I got this is the one that I think just doubled, and then I got another picture of one that I'm pretty sure is normal. So I'm gonna toggle back and forth. It's not super noticeable, but to me, I'm looking at the upright on the G, and that's where I'm seeing it the most. It seems like it's extra thick there. And like I said, the notching, mainly on the E and the W, is kind of sticking out to me. But it could just be something completely different. I really don't know. But if you want to throw me an opinion, I'll gladly hear you out. But to me, it looks decent. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't really trust myself enough yet So I don't know. Let me know what you think. All right, folks. So we're on roll 31 here, and finally got a good one here. Got the 2023 Kanaka Ole with the not the strongest clash in the ear area, but a good one. It's, I don't know if you're not familiar with it. The name Edith is clashed in here in this general area, and then you could also see on the reverse there's some clashing out in the river area over here. I guess I don't know. I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to be is a river, but I don't really see any clashing anywhere else. At least nothing that's jumping out at me. But pretty cool. The clash is pretty strong on the back and pretty sweet on the front. So can't beat that. There's some that are definitely stronger than this, so we would gladly take those as a find as well. But this is the first of these clashes that I found, so I am pretty happy with it. So we're gonna jump back in, see what else we can find, and I will bring you in when we do. Bringing you back in on roll 34, and we got a Saratoga under the scope here with just a tiny little die chip here in between the fingertip and the handle of the blade there. And also, it is WDDR number 001. And you can see the doubling right here on the inside part, the opening in the handguard there. So that one's pretty cool. First time finding this one. I think I found a few of the smaller, tinier ones, but I believe this is the kind of the most prominent of the doubling in the handle there. So pretty cool to find that one. So we're gonna jump back in and see what else we can find. All right, folks. So we're on roll 40 here. Got the wrong kind of silver edge. We was hoping for something a little different, but it's gonna be some type of foreign or token or something. We got the queen, which only narrows it down to like half the world, I think. And a 10 pence. I don't think I've ever found one of those before, so that's a little different. But let's jump back in and see if we can find some silver of the American variety. That would be much appreciated. All right, folks. So we're back winding down here a little bit. We're on roll 45, and we got 2013. Was it New Hampshire? Yeah, New Hampshire. White Mountain, and it is one of the San Francisco NIFCs. It doesn't want to focus very well, but it's there. Trust me. Lower mintage. It's actually in a pretty good shape. For whatever reason, these don't really hold much value. I don't know. They're lower mintage than your W quarters, but I don't know. The collector desire just isn't there, but it's still a cool find. And then I got a couple I want to look at in the scope here. We got a weird farm with a die break right there by the tree, up towards the roof of the building there. And then we got a couple in need of a nose job. We got what's this one? A Kanaka Ole with a wicked little hook coming off the nose there. And then another one I found a little while ago is a Bessie Coleman with a somewhat similar nose issue. And that's about all we found in the last few rolls. But we're going to jump back in. I just figured I'd stop before I had too many to talk about. And jump back in, finish this roll, and then the last few from there. And we'll see what else we can find.